So we have some Chinese fucktard just throwing asset flips like crazy onto Steam, and I'll bet you that this isn't even the end of it. I'll bet you there are more sock puppet accounts by this same Chinese fucking asset flipper. That's just a guess, but it doesn't really matter because this kind of shit is running just rampant on Steam, and Steam doesn't give a fuck. Like, there are more asset flippers than there are honest indie developers on Steam. And what Steam needs to do is, I've said this before, guys, to stop this kind of shit, Steam needs to probably increase the cost of a direct game cost to upload a game to Steam. But what that does is that hurts indie developers like myself. That hurts people who genuinely don't have a ton of money to put their game up on Steam. So let's say they raised it to $500. What that would do is really discourage genuine indie developers like myself, because $500 would be a lot. And my guess, even with a $500 per game charge, these asset flippers would still do what they do and run rampant. Granted, it would definitely cut down on how many we see, I think. But, guys, these guys are making a profit. So the best way, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, just as an observer looking in at Steam and doing this for a long goddamn time, I know Steam has cut down on how many keys they give to developers a couple of years ago, but it obviously is not nearly enough. So these asset flippers are figuring out ways to get tons of keys as soon as they launch an asset flip, whether they're bullshitting them and saying, hey, it's an Indie Gala bundle or whatever, from the drop-down list Steam offers developers. And at that point, I think Indie Gala gives like 2,000 keys out. So maybe asset flippers are doing that when they don't actually have an Indie Gala bundle agreed to with the website Indie Gala. But asset flippers are somehow deceiving Steam into giving them probably thousands of keys, which they are then selling to key-selling websites across the world. And that's how they're making a profit, I guarantee you, because these asset flips are not making enough money on Steam to make their $100 fee back. You see that this game particular here has 9 reviews, and probably more than half of these motherfuckers have refunded the game. But yeah, I wonder how many people have actually refunded this game. This one was received for free. A lot of these are keys that are given to them. But I don't see any refunds. But anyway, I don't believe that this particular game at 99 cents has made enough to make its $100 back on Steam itself. Where they're making money is on key selling websites, which means that Steam is obviously giving asset flippers like this trash dude way too many keys. Because even if these asset flippers are only making a $50 per game profit on the keys that they're selling, well, that is a profit. And so what these asset flippers do then is say, well, to make a good profit, I just need to magnify the number of asset flips that I put on Steam. And that's exactly what's going on. That's why we see so many fucking asset flips by the same developers. Because they think, oh, if I make a $50 profit per asset flip, I put no effort into the asset flip. It takes me 10 minutes to buy the asset kit, export it onto Steam, and make a really lazy store page like this. Well, that's an easy $50. So if I do this 5 times a week, for example, that's $250 per week. Magnify that per month, it's over $1,000 a month. And again, I'm just giving you example numbers. It might be even more that they're making with less asset flips. But you get the idea. They're not making that much money per asset flip, but they're putting in like no work. They're putting in 10 or 15 minutes of work into every asset flip because the store pages take them like no time, and getting an asset kit and hitting export takes like no time as well. So we're talking about mere minutes worth of work per asset kit, and then they upload it to Steam. They pay the $100, and they somehow deceive Steam into giving them tons of keys. So in my opinion, again, as an outsider looking in with years of experience, here's what Steam needs to do. Leave the $100 price alone so you don't discourage genuine developers, indie developers like myself, for uploading their good games, right? And then what Steam needs to do is at the start, when they don't even know a fucking developer, they need to limit the number of keys they give no matter what. So if an asset flipper supposedly wants to put their game on an Indie Gala bundle, sorry, you can't do it until you prove yourself. So the asset flipper is limited to, say, 10 or 20 keys, a very, very small number. I mean, 25 or less keys maximum. And that, particular developer needs to prove that they're not just an asset flipper, which means they need to have their game up on Steam for, say, 3 months or 6 month time period and not get called an asset flipper by critics like myself. So as long as they prove themselves and prove that they're not just uploading 4 games a week, right? And they prove that they're actually putting time and effort into their game, and their reviewers, people like me, will, do all the work for Steam. We'll do the work for Steam. We'll show Steam if this fucking guy is an asset flipper or not. And if you're getting a lot of reviews that say you're an asset flipper, or it's obvious by looking at the store page that it's an asset flip because you've seen 100 games that look just like it, then you know this guy's an asset flipper. It's not hard, Steam. So, no, these guys never get more than their initial 25 keys, period. However, if a game is starting to get reviews, maybe negative reviews, but they're not being linked to asset kits, which isn't proof that they're an asset flipper. So maybe, you have some fucktards calling a game an asset flip that's definitely not an asset flip. Well, if you call a game an asset flip, you need to do like I do and send Steam the link to the asset kit, right? Then you have proof that this developer is an asset flipper. That's all they need to do. And then if they're not getting links and proof that a game's an asset flip, over time, after 3 or 6 months or whatever, then that game, that one single game, deserves to maybe get some keys for a bundle, or maybe deserves to get 100 keys or whatever. Steam can figure that shit out. But until an asset flipper, until every game proves itself over like a 6-month period, I would say a 6-month minimum period, no more than 25 keys. Not only that, not getting a lot of keys for your game right away is going to help you prove as a developer that you care about your product, that you're not just trying to make a quick buck. You're trying to actually sell it on Steam legitimately. You're not just rushing out to sell your game to an asset store or whatever. I think that every game needs a minimum of 6 months on Steam. And then if people are sending Steam links, like in a refund, for example, that'd be a great place. If you're getting a refund on an asset flip, for example, all you need to do is put in the link to the asset kit that it's flipping in the refund information. And if Steam gets that information, they note that developer, they look at the kit, they look at the game, yep, this is a fucking flip, it's pretty obvious. Well, then that particular game will not get more than the initial 25 keys because it's pretty much been proven it's an asset flip. Especially if multiple people are, labeling the game as an asset flip with the same asset kit link. That is my recommendation to Steam on how to clean up their store really quick and prevent asset flippers like this particular fucktard from just running rampant. If Steam would just do that, they can leave the $100 fee alone, and I believe they would clean up their store a hell of a lot. I just believe it all comes down to they're giving way too many keys away to asset flippers like this guy. So that's my 2 cents. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you guys think if Steam did what I said right here and just limit keys to 25 keys maximum for at least 6 months until the game and the developer behind it prove that the game is not an asset flip, do you think that would actually put a stop to the asset flippers? I think it would go a long ways to keeping fucktards like this guy from making any money and discourage them from doing what they do. But do we think Steam cares enough to do that? Again, it's people like me who do most of the work for Steam. It's YouTubers and content creators like me and people who are actually refunding this shit that are actually doing the work for Steam. We're doing the quality control. And I have done so much quality control on Steam over the last years that honestly, Steam should probably send me a check of like fucking $50,000 just to pay me for all the quality control I've done myself on the Steam platform. If you look at all the missed videos, if you look at all the trash videos I've called out, all the people who have given my reviews thumbs up and awards for calling out asset flips, etc., I've done a hell of a lot of quality control for Steam, but I'm not doing this for Steam. I'm doing what I do for you guys and my viewers. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of my idea of limiting all games for the first 6 months, or until a developer has proven he's not an asset flipper like myself. I have 9 games on Steam. None of them are asset flips. Like maybe I should be able to get, more keys when I launch a game because I've proven myself with a minimum of, say, 5 games or a minimum of 10 games or whatever over a period of time. Also, maybe Steam could put in some other, things where if you're launching more than 5 games in a month, that's going to immediately tag you as an asset flipper and limit you to no more than 25 keys per those 5 games. So you want to launch 5 games in a month? Fine, but you're not going to get more than 25 keys per game because there needs to be a set rate. I would say 2 games per month would be the max. So if a developer puts out more than 2 games in any given month, yeah, those games get tagged as asset flips because nobody making a real game is going to put more than 2 games out in a single month. I'm just saying. So maybe that should be another criteria for Steam. Hey, your game's getting called asset flips and links to them, showing the asset kit that it's flipping, or if a developer is putting out more than 2 games in a month, all those games immediately get tagged as an asset flip, which means no more keys for those games. 25 is all you get. Not 25 a month, not 25 a week, not 25 a day, 25 keys total. Steam, I hope Steam listens to this video. I hope somebody at Steam listens to my video and my suggestion here, because I firmly believe that if they did something very similar to what I'm talking about, and I do think 25 keys maximum is all any fucking indie developer needs initially. So 25 keys maximum, no matter what they put as a reason for needing keys. 25 keys maximum. If Steam was to do this and follow something very similar to what I'm suggesting here, I do believe we would see the storefront for Steam be cleaned up in a goddamn hurry. And then Steam needs to also start caring about the asset flips that they have existing on Steam right now. So when somebody like me reports an asset flipper and shows proof that a developer is using their own accounts to positively review their own games, when I send reports of angry developers threatening lawsuits over a fair critique video and stuff like that, Steam needs to start taking action against those kind of asset flippers and hot-headed developers and start removing that kind of trash from the Steam platform. So Steam needs to do 2 things here. They need to start fucking limiting how many keys they give away, and they need to start taking action when people are reporting guys like this sock puppeter here breaking the terms of service. And they need to kick this fucking asshole off the Steam platform because he's obviously breaking the terms of service that he agreed to as having a Steam developer account. So I want to know what you guys have to say. Do you guys agree with me in this video? I would love to know. Please let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I read all those kind of comments. I would love to know. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Take care.